Welcome to Biz Coach and Coffee, where our guests are experts, entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants that share tips, strategies, and tactics to help small business entrepreneurs grow their business for long-term success. Please welcome your host, Biz Coach Steve Feld. Well, hello, everyone. I am Biz Coach Steve Feld, and my goal is to stop business owners from suffering entrepreneurial depression and start run their businesses much easier. Business owners and entrepreneurs hire me to crack 7 figures without burning themselves out. Today, we are actually going to have a replay of an interview I did last year talking about 5 critical areas in your business that you should be focusing on to really get it growing. So we will be playing the audio. It is a little bit longer than our normal podcast, but it's full of information and we hope you enjoy it. And you can also check out the YouTube side of it so you can see the graphics. We created graphics because this was a radio interview. We hope you enjoy the radio interview and have a great day.
Hello there. This is Karen Hewitt, and today we're in the studio with Coach Steve Feld. He's a business coach and top marketing strategist that knows and understands fundamentals and principles that help small business owners see dramatic and immediate increases in both revenue and profits. Now, this is no matter what type of business or industry that you're in. So, for everyone listening that owns their own small business, I have a question. How would you like a simple, proven, and tested way that you can double those profits with little time, effort, or expense on your part? I mean, what would really happen if you could discover a formula that would create that massive exponential growth for your business, starting right away, immediately? Now, while you're thinking of that, I have found that if you ask any small business owner what they need most in their business, they're going to give you the same 2 answers every single time. The first one is they need more customers. Okay. The second one, they need more revenue. If that's you, if either one of those questions are you, then I know you're in the right place. Here's the problem. We give those answers, but we don't always ask the question, what will it take to produce more customers and more revenue? And then even more importantly than that, how can that be a consistent thing? Because it's one thing to do it one time, but it's another thing to make it part of your business experience. Well, that's why Biz Coach Steve is here with us today. Steve, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much, Karen. It's a real pleasure to be here. And listen, you just asked a great question. So I'm going to dive right in and give your listeners some cutting edge information that they can use in their business. Now, you mentioned 2 of the top hot button issues that I constantly hear for when I'm speaking to small business owners, when I'm networking with them, is always, I want more customers and more revenue. So let's simplify what we need to focus on first is the customers. So the first thing everyone fails to look at is their leads. And then you got to convert those leads into customers. Now, by breaking down the results into leads and conversions, now you can put together a strategic plan of action to attain that result. As for the revenue, once you generate the leads, convert those leads into clients, those clients will pay you a specific price for what you sell. And the price that you charge should always be based on the value you provide. So price and value are the first 2 components in the revenue equation, but it doesn't stop there.
Okay, so what's next?
Well, you have expenses to pay, and those expenses come directly out of the revenue you just generated. So the next revenue component to consider is your margin. How much of that revenue do you want to put in your own pocket? And you're still not done even after that. If your customer only buys from you one time, you're right back where you started. You need to generate new batch of leads and convert them into clients. You're always on the hamster wheel. It just becomes a never-ending cycle.
You're making a lot of sense. It sounds about right. And I'm going to bet that's really frustrating to a lot of business owners. Can they do anything about this situation?
Absolutely. Now, what if you can compel your clients to increase the number of transactions they complete with you year after year, instead of the one and done, as we say? If you can increase that number of times that they buy from you, just think of it like this. If you can find a way to just get 25% of your current customers to buy 5 times from you every year instead of just once, your total annual revenue would double. But most business owners are solely focusing on just generating more leads instead of finding ways to get their current customers to spend more money with them. And here's something that every small business owner needs to know and understand. It's the 80-20 rule. And here's how it applies to small business owners. 20% of small business owners do something every day that produces 80% of their total revenue. In other words, there's only a few things that actually generate the vast majority of all the revenue we make every day. And over years of working with business owners, we've discovered what makes up that 20%. That's all they should be focusing on.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm talking to our listeners right now. If you do not have a pen and paper in front of you right now, I'm going to give you like 10 seconds. Grab it. Grab that pen, grab that paper. I have a feeling you're going to want to write this down because I think this is going to be huge. I just have that gut feeling.
Absolutely. So let's get right into it. So there's just 5 critical areas that every small business owner must focus on to build a multi-million-dollar business: leads, conversions, transactions, pricing, and profit. Let me say that again. Leads, conversions, transactions, pricing, and profit. Now, let me use some specific numbers to illustrate exactly the importance of these 5 areas. Now, for you to double your profits and create exponential growth, you have to start with a baseline. That means you have to know your current numbers in each of these critical areas. So the first need to work out is exactly knowing where your numbers are right now. Once you have them, you can work out what you need to double these profits and make sure that you spend your time doing on what you should be doing. I'll give you an example. I'm going to start with leads. Let's say your current baseline is about 1,000 leads a year, and you're converting 25% of them, meaning that 1 out of every 4 people you sit in front of agrees to buy from you. So that means you convert 250 out of those 1,000 leads into customers. Now let's assume that the number of your annual transactions per customer equals 10. So each of those 250 customers buys from you and buys from what you sell at least 10 times a year. And then let's further assume that your average price is $100. So your 250 customers are buying $100 of product or service from you 10 times a year, which equals a total annual revenue of $250,000. Now, however, you have to subtract out all your expenses, rent, mortgage, insurance, salaries, marketing, cost of goods, and so on. Now, taking all those into account, let's assume your profit margin is 25%. So of the $250,000 in sales, you're only left with a profit of $62,500. The goal now is to find a way to increase each of those 5 critical metrics for your business.
Okay, I need to get this straight here so I understand. When you say someone's making $250,000 a year in sales, it sounds really good, but that profit is 62. That just doesn't sound as promising. It's like living in a constant state of overwhelm. And I can say that most business owners probably relate to that. They feel like they put the work in, but what they're getting the payout on at the end of the year doesn't match up. So just focusing on 5 areas, that doesn't seem like a lot, but that could have a tremendous impact on your business.
Exactly. And I'll even show you what I mean. So let's start with leads. We identified 30 separate and distinctive strategies that can dramatically increase your leads. And they're all field tested and proven to work.
Okay, I need to hear one of these. I need to know this.
Sure. One of our most effective and powerful ways to generate leads today is through a targeted direct mail campaign. I know people are saying direct mail doesn't work, but hear me out. A campaign means multiple mailings, since a single mailing seldom produces any positive results. And that is what most business owners do, a one and done. So what they're trying to do, they've never even attempted a campaign because of the expense involved. So to break it down, if you know that one new customer brings you in about $100 10 times a year, then you know you'll make $1,000 from each customer you generate. Now, suppose you decide to test direct mail. Let's say you like to mail out to, say, 25,000 prospects. You can send a direct mail today for around 60 cents a unit. So 25,000 prospects at 60 cents. That means you're going to have to invest about $15,000 for that mailing. And a typical 4% response rate produces 1,000 new leads. And if we stick to our original 25% close rate, we know we're going to get an additional 250 new customers who bring us another $1,000 of revenue. That's $250,000 right there. And if your profit margin's 25%, then your profit is $62,500. So obviously you made some substantial money from the campaign, but consider this. That was one of the strategies I teach my clients that allows them to execute a direct mail campaign to as many homes as they want to target. And we can even show you how to do it all for free. And all the strategy it requires is that the business owner spends a minimal amount of their time in effort to make it happen.
Okay, I'm going to say it right now. You are blowing my mind at the moment because this sounds too good to be true and just what our listeners need.
Exactly, Karen. Marketing is an infinite subject, and we're only limited by our imagination and our experience. So one of the great advantages about being a student of marketing across multiple industries is that you begin to see the solutions that are normally hidden to people that are only operating in a single business model. Think about it. If you're a building contractor and you've been operating in that space for 25 years, how could you possibly know the ways that a dentist in Australia markets his business or a car dealer in Japan? Experienced business coaches bring an outside perspective to their clients, and these fresh new insights give their clients the ability to outperform their competitors. And in most cases, it completely dominates their market.
Okay, I get where you're going now. I can see this. I can see what you're saying.
So Karen, what if I can show a business owner how they can double their numbers of leads using network strategy, or how they can implement a no-cost yet highly effective referral program? Or how about setting up a lucrative strategic endorsement partnership with other business owners to sell your product or services on your behalf? Or maybe perhaps you'd like to use a presentation strategy where you host an online presentation highlighting how you're using a webinar or teleseminar, or even a comprehensive internet marketing campaign using Facebook or LinkedIn. Karen, I'm telling you, these strategies are just a drop in the bucket when it comes to helping you generate all the leads in your business, more than you can probably handle. But whichever one or more of these strategies you elect to use for your business, do you think that most small business owners can conservatively generate at least 10% more leads by using them?
You know, just from what you've just said, it sounds really reasonable. Now, I know you've been giving us examples. Can you help me see this more and help our listeners see it more by applying this example?
Absolutely. So let's say instead of generating 1,000 leads per year, which was our original number, you can conservatively say that you can easily generate a 1,100 leads per year. That's just an extra 100 leads a year. Breaking it down, that's 2 more leads a week. And remember, that's leads, not customers. So consider this example. And I know we've all been there. We've all met a real estate agent, and then we always at a networking event or whatever, and we always ask the famous question, hey, what do you do? And the realtor always replies back with, I sell real estate. Well, that's not very compelling. I mean, in fact, when a prospect hears that, they're basically thinking, well, so what? So does the next person I just met. There's nothing there that makes me want to engage with that agent. But real estate agents, they network like there's no tomorrow. But let's say an agent goes to a networking event, proclaims to everyone, hey, I sell real estate. And let's assume that for every 1 out of 10 people that hears that one person actually becomes interested and wants to talk to them about possibly selling their home. But let's consider this. Instead of telling people, I sell real estate, suppose they said this, I help families buy homes larger than they thought that they can afford. Or suppose they said, I can sell any home for top dollar within 29 days. And if I don't, I sell that home for free. Now, Karen, I mean, out of the 10 people that agent just spoke to with one of these new statements, how many of them do you think will now respond to the agent?
Oh, you know what? Listening to those two statements, I'm going to say that anyone that was even had that thought in their head of selling or buying a home would be intrigued to know more.
Absolutely. Of course they would. I mean, even let's say conservatively, just say 2 now respond to them. That is actually right there, 100% increase in leads, just from changing one sentence coming out of their mouth. So my question is this: with 30 powerful and proven lead generation strategies available to help small business owners generate more leads, would you agree that just a 10% increase in leads is an ultra conservative figure?
You know what? Yeah, because we're talking leads here. This is becoming a no-brainer.
So good, that takes care of leads. Now let's take care of that second critical area, conversions. Your conversion rate is where a prospect becomes a customer or a client. They agree to buy what you sell. It simply means that you found a way to compel their decision-making process so they choose you over your competitors. What if we can help you convert more leads, close more sales at a rate that's, say, just 10% more than what you're doing right now?
All right, you know, I'm going to say this. I need an example. Our listeners need an example. Can you give us some?
What if I could teach you how to write a powerful marketing and advertising copy, along with persuasive sales scripts, and you write them down better than 95% of most copywriters alive today? And then what if your copy was so compelling and persuasive that would position your business as the only logical choice for your prospects to buy from?
Okay, so you can do that?
Not just that. Suppose I can give you a strategy that would teach you how to add on so much value for what you sell that you could charge even more than your competitor charges, and your prospects wouldn't even think twice about paying you that amount. And what if I could teach you how to completely eliminate any barriers to entry for your prospects, and how to create a compelling offer that practically forces your prospects to buy from you? And perhaps most importantly, what if we can hand you an entire drip campaign for your prospects who don't initially buy from you?
Okay, that is certainly an impressive list. But I'm caught on one thing. Can you tell me, what is a drip campaign?
Yes, a drip campaign is a series of follow-up communications, usually email or direct mail, that continually nurtures your prospects until they're finally ready to make that buying decision. Did you know that the typical prospect doesn't buy until they receive a minimum of 6 messages from you? So if you're in business today, think about it. Are you currently sending out at least minimum of 6 follow-up messages to your current prospects? And if not, I mean, I'm telling you, you're probably leaving a fortune on the table.
I had no idea.
So the big question is, with all these conversion strategies working for you, would you agree it should be an easy way to increase your conversion rate from the original 25% to perhaps, say 35%? And that's very easy to do. But as we did with leads, let's keep our numbers ultra conservative. So would you agree that conservatively, you could have no problem whatsoever increasing your conversion rate from a meager 10%, from like 25% to 27.5%?
Now, Steve, from everything you're telling me so far, I think that might be too conservative.
Yeah, I know, but I use those low numbers anyways, because we're converting 27.5% of your now 1,100 leads, which equals now 302 clients. Remember, when we started the example, we only started with 250 customers, and now we're at 302.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. But I have a feeling. So what's next?
Oh, yeah. Now let's increase the number of transactions. Let's implement a series of strategies that will compel your clients to buy from us more often. Let me start with a real life example. So last week, I got my carpets cleaned in my home. I had the cleaning company come and just do 4 rooms, paid the guy $120. And that was the end of the transaction. There was no process in place to try to get me to do more business with them or any kind of an offer. All the crew chief said to me was this: if you have any friends that need their carpet clean, please let me know. Well, to be honest with you, I haven't had my carpets cleaned in over 5 years, and they really, really needed it. So what do you think I might have done if he would have suggested to me that I can enroll in their gold program, and he would clean my carpets, say 3 times a year at a special price? Now, I know I'm going to get my carpets cleaned again, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to choose him. In fact, truth be told, the only reason I chose him over everyone else is that their coupon caught my eye. I don't know this company from a hole in the wall, and I just was compelled to hire him just on the price. But now they have the opportunity to get me on the hook for 3 cleanings every year rather than coming to my house once every 5 years. And if using this strategy just gets 1 out of every 3 people to sign up for that, I mean, that company could have doubled their income, doubled their sales right then and there, just with that one statement.
Oh my, that is pretty amazing. I mean, it's not even a 1 in 5 years he's got, because you could have gone with somebody else.
Absolutely.
Have you got another example? I love these examples.
Sure. This one's for the guys. Being a guy, this one resonates with us. So how about a florist? Okay, guys, let's be real here. We usually buy flowers for our better halves once a year, well, if that. Now, suppose we could teach a florist how to set up a continual program called, like, say, the Lover of the Year, where a guy comes into the florist shop once a year. They pre-select or select a pre-arranged package of flowers, gifts, cards, each targeting a special day on the calendar for his better half, such as like Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, birthday, anniversary. And it has a special, like, out of the blue, just thinking of you day as a little bonus. Now, each one of these packages the guy selects would include a specific floral arrangement that fits that unique occasion, a special gift that she will treasure forever, and a romantic card containing a special handwritten message. And this can all be done in about 20 minutes. Now, the florist can guarantee delivery of each of those arrangements on those specific dates and send an email reminder to the guy the day before the delivery, so they don't forget that occasion and they don't go mad scramble to the local gas station to pick up that rose that's been sitting there all day. And now the florist can also finance the entire cost of the program over 12 months and charge the guy's credit card a set amount each month to make this program an affordable no-brainer. I mean, guys love this because the entire year is planned out in advance and they don't have to make that typical last-minute dash. Do you realize that this florist just conditioned this client to buy from him 5 times a year instead of once? And do you think that one guy will tell 4 or 5 other of his friends about this unique program? Being a guy, I'm telling you, they will. Did you know a version of this strategy can be adopted to work for almost any business in any industry? I can show you how to implement this strategy for any business on the planet.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. I would send my husband for that strategy. So what is the impact that would be on this original business that we're talking about?
So looking back at our original numbers and remaining ultra super conservative, we can assume that it would be fairly simple to use this strategy, like easily convert from our original 10 visits per year to just 11. That's ultra conservative, 10%. Now we have those 302 clients paying us 11 times a year versus 10. And at $100 a visit, that's $332,200 instead of $302,000.
Okay, so I think I'm starting to see why you referred to this earlier as exponential growth.
Exactly. But now let's consider price. What if we can help you implement a series of targeted strategies that would allow you to instantly increase your sales price with no effect whatsoever on your conversion rate?
With no effect on conversion? Okay, you have my attention now.
Did you know that price is one of the least understood components when it comes to small business ownership? So let me explain what that means in very basic terms. And for those of you that are small business owners, Pay close attention to what I'm about to say. This will be a major revelation for you. Now, suppose you sell a product for $100 and the net profit on that product is 25%. That means after you pay rent, salaries, commissions, cost of acquiring the product, resell it, utilities, and everything else that goes into your business, you're only getting to put $25 out of that $100 in your bank account. But what happens if you increase that price by just 10%? Do you realize that's 10% is pure profit? Typically, there's no additional expenses that must be factored into determining your net profit. In fact, your net profit just increased from $25 to $35. That means your profit on this one product just increased by a whopping 40%.
All right, I'm following you here, Steve. It makes sense. I need to throw a little stumbling block your way because most business owners that I know are laying awake in bed at night trying to figure out how can they reduce their prices to become more competitive.
I gotta agree. Yes,
laying
they
in bed all
do.
night.
That is so true. And the big question always becomes like, how can you increase your prices and get away with it, right? Because they're laying in bed thinking how to reduce them. So there's two major methods that will allow you to do this, and they go hand in hand with each other. So the first is add more value. The easiest way to do that is bundling. So bundling is where you take a variety of products and services, put them all together and create a new higher priced offering. Now, put this in perspective. We all see this all the time on infomercials where they wow you with the versatility and convenience of, say, the new wave oven. Then they add everything, including the kitchen sink, to create a perceptive, massive value. I mean, watch these infomercials when you watch them on TV, and they all follow the exact same bundling formula. They're including at the end when they make their compelling no-brainer offer by deciding that you're going to send you now 2 of them and for the same price as 1. Look at it. George Foreman Grill, Nutrisystem, the Snuggie, ShamWow. I mean, the list goes on and on. But they're all using bundling to increase the perceived value. And they're making a fortune doing this. Other factors is explain the reasons why you're increasing your prices to your customers. If you say to them, I had to increase my price 10% because of X, Y, and Z, more often than not, they'll let you get away with it. Here's another revelation for all you small business owners. The easiest and fastest way to increase your revenue is increase your prices. Now, you heard that. I can't say this any clearer. Just simply increase your prices. Say 10%. And here's why. Most small business owners compete on price. So they're increasing their prices have never, ever been an option to them, and much less of a consideration because they're always trying to think of lowering it. And because they haven't considered the facts when it comes to increasing their prices. So for example, let's say a business is selling a widget for $100 with a profit margin of 30. If they discount their price by just 10% to say $90, they must now sell 50% more widgets just to make back their original profit margin. I mean, does any business owner today really believe that a measly 10% discount is going to generate 50% more sales? I mean, look around. Most of the offers for discounting range anywhere from 25 to 50%. And then they wonder why they're going broke. But watch what happens when you increase your prices. Now, let's say the business owner charges 10% more for that widget. That makes their price $110. Now, ask yourself a true, honest question. Will that small increase really lead to a loss of customers? Probably not, and I've seen it time and time again. The only time it does is when the business offers a basic commodity with many other competitors offering the same thing at the exact same price at a lower price. Then what it's coming down to is convenience, and it's not price that comes into play. But even if it does lead to a customer attrition, to really what extent? I mean, a 10% increase in the business is now making an additional $10, all which is profit. That's 33% profit increase. So for this business owner now to make $1,000 in profit from selling their widget at $100 each, they would need to sell 33.3 widgets. But by increasing their price by 10%, now they only need to sell 25 widgets. So that means just that break even, this business would have to lose 25% of its customers over a measly 10% price increase. And I'm telling you, I've seen it time and time again. That is just not going to happen. Of course, you can always want to err on the side of caution and test the increase on a small scale to gauge the reaction. But trust me when I say this, customer attrition will be minuscule. Increasing the price of a business product or service results in an immediate increase in revenue and profit. So even looking back at our original numbers, if we increase our original 100% price point by just 10% to $110, our total revenue has just now increased from $332,200 to $365,420.
Okay, so we've now increased the revenue by over 100,000. You mentioned 5 areas of growth. We have to know. We have to know now. What is number 5?
Well, last and definitely not the least, is profit. Everything that we've discovered is basically worthless if you're not making a profit on each and every sale you make. So I can teach ways to slash your costs without affecting your day-to-day business operations. Here's an example. I can show you how to use the art of barter to significantly reduce and completely eliminate many of your everyday expenses. Okay, you have accounting, bookkeeping, printing, advertising, office supplies, and so many other business expenses that can be dramatically reduced or possibly eliminated by following barter strategies. Now, do you realize, we've seen huge increases in profit margins by properly identifying and then targeting your ideal client. This ties into that 80-20% rule that we discussed earlier. In this case, it refers to the fact that 20% of your clients generate 80% of your total profits. Now, if you can replace 80% of your low margin clients with better 20% high margin group, you're going to see your margins explode, sometimes as much as 16 times. Another example has to do with separating your business from your competition by becoming unique in what you do. Setting yourself apart from the herd creates a massive competitive advantage that can skyrocket your profit margins. As an example, one of our clients used to manufacture more than 1,000 different types of ceramic tiles and accessories. He voluntarily discontinued 80% of those products. He focused his sales and development efforts on only the products that gave him the competitive edge. Well, the result, it was a rebirthing of his company where he doubled his profit margin and increased his sales.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So let's just assume that you implement just one of these strategies, and keeping our numbers, again, super ultra conservative. Let's say your profit margin just increased from 10% and you go from 25% to now 27.5%. We'd go from our original profit figure of 62,500 up to 100,490. So now we have over $100,000 in profit. We've almost doubled our profits, which was our original goal. Not so bad.
Okay, this is incredible. In fact, all right, it's so logical. It's kind of frightening.
I agree. And we're not talking about major changes here. These are small incremental changes that barely cause any disruption to your current business. And here's the great thing. Any business owner can do this.
All right, so we have a ton of small business owners listening today. There has to be a way that they can take advantage of this information.
My team and I have created a complete online small business coaching platform that can not only double or triple your profits, but it can increase exponential growth for any business starting today. So when you use all of our tools, resources, templates, along with the powerful audio and video training that we make available to you, you will immediately begin to see results exactly like this.
All right, I have to do this. I have to play devil's advocate for a moment. I think I know what most business owners are thinking right now. This sounds great, but can you actually prove this in advance so they know it works?
I think that's a fair and great question, Karen. And the answer is this: yes, of course. In fact, I'll prove it to any small business owner that this works by offering to put a large sum of money directly in their pocket, and I won't charge them a cent to do it. And if any of your listeners will invest just 45 minutes of their time with me, I can find them a minimum of 10,000 of extra profits hidden already in their business, guaranteed. And I know it sounds a little too good to be true, but I assure you that finding more than $10,000 for any business is mere child's play. In fact, when I do these 10K challenges, as I like to call them, I typically find well north of $100,000 for them. And I could do that because my partners and I have worked with thousands of business owners all over the world. And we've discovered that none of them are applying these very simple and easy business growth strategies that can unleash tens of thousands of dollars in hidden revenue in just a matter of mere minutes. So to everyone listening, just give me 45 minutes of your time and using just maybe 2 to 3 of these simple strategies, and I'll find you a minimum of $10,000 to over $100,000 hidden in your business without you spending a penny more on marketing or advertising.
All right, Steve. That's an incredible offer, but what's the catch?
Here's the catch, Karen, because I want something in return for my time to do this. So I'm currently adding new case studies to one of my books that documents the process I use to find more than $10,000 for a small business owner. My publisher just asked me to get another 12 additional case studies to place in the book that officially documents my ability to find this type of money for any business in any industry. And listen, I want to be completely transparent here regarding this offer. The case study I use for my book, it's going to enable me to get tons of new clients for myself. Think about it this way for a minute. I go in and find, let's say, a daycare center, an additional $178,000 in profits that they could be putting in their pocket every day, but aren't. So Karen, I can guarantee every one of those strategies I use to find that daycare, that additional revenue, will apply to every other daycare on the planet. So look at the leverage now that gives me as a business growth strategist. I can call up any daycare anywhere in the world and tell them that I just met with one of their competitors, XYZ Daycare, and in less than 45 minutes, I found them $178,000 in additional revenue for their business. And the reason I'm calling you is because my initial research indicates I can produce similar and possibly better results for your daycare. And I'd be interested in speaking with you along the possibility of a profit sharing arrangement with your daycare. Could you schedule a brief 45-minute meeting with me and see if this type of revenue increase is possible in your daycare? Now, what do you think they're going to say? Talk about a no-brainer. Every case study I generate opens up a new niche market for me to contact and bring on new clients for my coaching practice. And that's why I'm offering this opportunity to your listeners. Not to mention, I am so passionate about helping small business owners thrive and survive. They're the lifeblood of our economy, and they really do not get any credit for it. So I'm asking your listeners, in return of this service, allow me to use your results for a case study in my book. And this may be important for your listeners. I don't have to use your name or the name of your business in the event, in case you don't want me to. I can simply just list your profession and leave off your name and the name of your business. But my main interest is to document your actual results and nothing more than that.
Okay, that's really interesting. So for those that are interested in accepting your offer, do they need to meet with you in person?
No, not at all, Karen. I usually do this all over Zoom calls. So it's totally convenient for those who'd like to participate. So again, if you're interested in putting an extra 10,000 or more in your pocket for spending a whopping 45 minutes speaking with me via Zoom, you could just go to www.bizcoachsteve.com/100K. So that's bizcoachsteve.com/100K and get a complimentary copy of my book. It will take you also to my calendar where you can select the day and time that's most convenient for you. That's it. And then I'll call you on that day and time. And in case anyone's wondering, this meeting is not a sales call. There's not going to be any selling whatsoever during our conversation. We're just going to talk for about 15 minutes, get to know each other. Then we can set up that meeting where I can find your business at least $10,000 to over $100,000 or more in additional revenue and profits.
Biz Coach Steve, that's an incredible offer. I think I might have to just take you up on that myself. But listen, thank you so much for being on the program today. I really can't recall anyone I've ever interviewed providing so much practical and applicable information in such a short time frame. Now, would you mind repeating that link again where people can apply for your $10,000 challenge?
Sure, Karen. Just go to www.bizcoachsteve.com/100K and choose the day and time that works the best for you. And then we can start figuring out where you'd like to spend all that additional revenue that we're going to uncover for you.
Well, again, Biz Coach Steve, thank you for that very generous offer. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Biz Coach Steve Feld, one of today's top sales and marketing strategists. I hope you got as much out of today's interview as I did. I think I've taken close to, 5 pages of notes. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today, and I'll be back next week at the same time. Have a terrific week, everyone.
We hope you enjoyed today's topic. If you'd like to discuss how you can apply these strategies in your business, let us know. This episode is sponsored by Spotlight Books. Get your own expert book written about you in 30 days. Set yourself apart from the competition. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Also, feel free to give us your comments. We look forward to hearing from you on Biz Coach and Coffee.